All right, today we're jumping into a cinematic journey, unlocking an ancient song of victory, Psalm 21. We're going to walk through this verse by verse using some really powerful imagery to make this whole thing unforgettable. Let's get right into it.
But first, I want you to think about this for a second. What does true victory actually feel like? I'm not talking about just, winning a game. I mean that deep, profound feeling of triumph. Try to hold on to that feeling, because that's the real heart of this entire psalm we're about to explore.
So, we're starting at the absolute peak of celebration. This first part is all about a king's joy, but more importantly, where that incredible happiness actually comes from.
Okay, verse 1. I want you to picture a king, but he's not sitting on some stuffy throne. Instead, he's standing out in a field, just bathed in this golden light. And he's not just smiling, he's laughing. A real, pure, can't-hold-it-in kind of joy. And here's the key. His happiness isn't coming from his own power, but from a strength and a salvation that were given to him.
Moving to verse 2, the scene keeps going. Imagine that king receiving this beautifully wrapped gift being handed down from somewhere high above, from a source you can't quite see. It's everything he ever wanted, his heart's truest desire, just given to him. And the verse ends with that word, Selah. It's kind of like a musical cue for us to just pause, take a breath, and really let that moment sink in.
Then in verse 3, we realize this gift, it's not just an object. No, this is a full-on coronation. You see these hands made of pure light, and they gently place a heavy, incredible crown of glowing, pure gold right on the king's head. This is a sign of ultimate blessing, of real authority.
So you have to wonder, what did the king ask for? What was his heart's desire? Well, verse 4 tells us. He asked for life. And to really see this, picture a single candle flame appearing right in the palm of the king's hand. But instead of flickering like it might go out, it just grows and grows into this steady, roaring bonfire that can't be extinguished. A life that goes on forever.
And the picture just gets bigger and grander in verse 5. Now, that same king is being draped in a robe, but it looks like it's woven from starlight itself. It's so brilliant, so majestic, it's almost hard to even look at. You get the sense that his glory isn't his own. It's a reflection of the salvation he was given.
And here in verse 6, we finally see the true source of it all. The king, he actually turns away from the gifts, from the crown, from that starry robe, and he faces this warm, all-encompassing light. And his face is just filled with this look of absolute peace and overwhelming happiness. So here's the takeaway. The ultimate blessing wasn't the stuff he got. It was being in the presence of the one who gave it.
So, we've seen this incredible joy. But what's the foundation for it? What's holding it all up? Well, the tone's about to shift. We're moving from that bright celebration to the awesome, steadfast power that makes it all possible.
Verse 7 shows us exactly why this king is so secure. As he's standing there, just picture his feet beginning to root down deep into the earth like he's becoming an ancient, unshakable mountain. He trusts. And because of that mercy from the Most High, he literally cannot be moved.
Now the perspective widens out in verse 8. Imagine seeing this giant, powerful hand moving across a huge, dark landscape, almost like a searchlight. It's not random or chaotic. It's slow, methodical, sweeping over everything until every single shadow, every enemy is found. There's just nowhere left to hide.
Okay, the imagery in verse 9 gets really intense. Think of a massive furnace door being suddenly thrown open, and this wave of incredible heat and blinding, consuming light just bursts out. It's this picture of judgment that is swift, absolute, and fiery.
Verse 10 really drives home just how total this victory is. Picture a powerful, unstoppable wind just sweeping across the land. It's like a cleansing force that leaves absolutely nothing of the opposition behind. Not a root, not a seed, nothing.
But why such an intense reaction? Verse 11 gives us the backstory. Imagine seeing these shadowy figures working furiously, weaving this intricate, dark web. It's their complex plot. But right at the moment they think they're about to finish it, the whole thing just instantly crumbles to dust. Their evil plan was completely powerless from the start.
Verse 12 is the absolute climax of this whole conflict, and the perspective flips to first person. It's as if we are one of the enemies. We turn to run, to get away, but we're met with this terrifying sight. The glint of countless arrowheads on drawn bowstrings, all aimed right at our faces. There's no escape.
Wow. After that incredibly intense sequence of power and judgment, the psalm pulls back. The conflict is over,
And the only response left is this grand final crescendo of praise. And for the final verse, the camera just zooms way out. We see it's not just about the king anymore. You see a massive crowd, thousands and thousands of people, all with their faces turned upward, and they're all singing together. It's not one king's private joy anymore. It's become a collective anthem, one powerful chorus praising a strength that they know is not their own.
And that really brings us to the final thought. This ancient song is all about a king who found his joy, his security, and his victory, not in what he could do, but in a divine power. So it kind of leaves us with a question for our own lives. In your battles, in your victories, where do you find your strength?